I'm going to talk about persistence, which is a trait that is absolutely necessary for anybody who is an entrepreneur, who's building a business, who's doing something that's hard, that is going to involve a lot of failure. So I've been on this endeavor of learning the skill of life insurance sales, and that has been that takes a lot of persistence. And as I've reflected, and some of my team was asking about that persistence, I wanted to tie it to a story that my husband brought home from his men's retreat that he went on with the church. The speaker was a pastor who felt like he wanted to reach the military and specifically just walk alongside them when they're going through a lot of the mental battle, the mental stress that happens from what they've been through and experienced. And he was told that the best way to reach them is to be in the trenches with them and to be alongside them. So he goes to the Navy SEALs, the training and the tryout, and the famous, the Hell Week, which is going to whittle down this huge couple hundred men to a few, right? And the story that stuck out was there was one of the guys in there had wanted to be a Navy SEAL since he was 12 years old. He had told everybody, right? Everyone who knew him knew that's his goal. That's what he's training for. He was just focused on it from the time he was a child to now, and now he's there. And it's the hardest thing that he's going to go through, and he has to make it through. And he ends up quitting, which it's not hard to believe when you actually hear somebody talk about how strenuous it is, because it's not actually just the physical strain, it's the mental strain. It's the mental game that you have to mentally persevere through that physical endurance of the craziness that they go through. And the guy had told his family and everyone he knew for his whole life that that's what he was going to be. He's going to be a Navy SEAL. And for him, it was that as things started to get hard and he was struggling, he was turning internally and saying, but this is my identity. I have to do this. This is me. If I go back and if I don't make it, then who am I? Because he was focused on that he had said this is what he's going to do, and so he's going to do it. And sometimes we think that's going to help us in life and business if we make a decision and we say we're going to do it, right? But the things that are really difficult and really trying, they take probably something bigger. And a good example of that is the pastor who went into the SEALs because he wanted to reach and impact a lot of the military men and share the gospel with them and help them find their hope in something bigger in Jesus. And so he went through this without a lot of training or preparation. It was, I think, less than a year before he made that decision and then was at the training. And purpose was bigger than himself. His purpose was because I want to reach these people and I want to do this mission that God has put on my heart. And he made it through because it wasn't about him. It was about the bigger purpose, and it was about the impact that he wanted to make that would ultimately hopefully change so many lives, is kind of what it takes. So looking back, I think one of the reasons that I'm driven in this way is because I feel like God has given me that, there's like a potential inside of me that if I can just get out of my own way, he can use to make a big impact. And the hardest part for people is overcoming that fear and the doubt, and when things are not working out very well, We want to quit. We want to say, oh, this is probably not the path for me. It's probably something else. But the reality is, and I think about this often too, another story is that, when God told the Israelites that they were going to go into the promised land, like that was a clear promise given. Like the promised land, I'm going to lead you to the promised land of milk and honey. But it came with fighting a lot of battles. There was a lot of resistance and a lot of enemies that they had to conquer. And how many times were they probably like, is this really what God has for us? Like, it seems like everyone is against us, and it doesn't look like we'll ever actually get this land that we were supposed to be given. And the funny thing is, it wasn't given. It was something that they had to rely on bigger than their own strength, and rely on God's wisdom in the battles and things like that. And so I just feel like the life that we're supposed to live is going to be an adventure, and it's supposed to be it's supposed to be dangerous, and it's supposed to cause us to cling to rely on the Lord's strength and to see him work. And I want that for my kids. I want them to have that same spirit. And so I know that, the things that they're capable of, those things that are planted inside of us, we all have dreams as a kid. Most of them get squashed because we end up falling into the trap of our comfort zone. But the life of comfort that is so easy to just like go through the motions and doesn't take a whole lot of strength beyond ourselves. It's a lot easier for us to fall into the trap of being self-sufficient when it feels like we're doing something that we can do on our own strength. And we can do, and I go to work and I check this box and I feed my family, and it just is easy to feel like we got things under control, we can do it, we can handle it, and we miss out on the adventure and the joy that comes from living beyond our ability, which is when we have to rely on the Lord for his strength when it looks like everything's falling down, and his guidance on how to navigate situations and his provision, right? So being after like 7 months of life insurance and not having a profitable month, most people would have thrown in the towel and said, this must not be it, right? Or I've tried my hardest and it's just not working out. But I know that it's worth it because I know I'm mastering a skill that I have the ability to master. Like it's like God has given me the ability to master it. Now I'm surrounded in a community it's community wide. So it's not just me learning one-on-one from her. It's a lot of people on the team having success and a lot of leaders sharing their inputs, and it's doing call reviews and listening and hearing how people would respond and navigate and how they would serve this person, and taking all of that together where you can ask a question about any insurance product or how to help a client or any situation and have a whole bunch of people ready to answer you right away. Like that kind of community where we just want to lift each other up is so powerful because I will have it. And so I'm reading that and I'm taking down notes for the future. So I feel empowered that when that comes up for me, I'm going to know a little bit more than I did because somebody else on the team had that question and I got to hear how everyone else handled it. And so that builds my confidence in myself and my ability to navigate the situations that are going to arise. So the value of community is just unmatched. I just can't say that enough. So finding a community of people that are like-minded and want to serve and want to help and want to do it from the right reasons, as well as having people that you can lean into, because going through, when we turn internal, another thing that I took from my husband's recap of the weekend and what he learned from this Navy SEALs, the Hell Week, was if you turn internal, you start to lose your strength. But if you look and you see the other people with you that are also struggling to carry a 250-pound log or boat over your head or whatever, you gain strength from seeing them struggling and pushing through the hard too. And so that's what we have in this community with Empowered Life Group is we're in the trenches together. You know, we have people alongside us. We can feel not alone in it. And I think that's one of the most valuable things too. And so for anyone looking for what is that grit, what is that persistence, like what do I need to have that rooted in? I think it's got to be something that is others focused and probably even bigger than the people that you're serving. So the having the purpose of serving families and helping them protect what matters most is amazing. But I think it also has to be bigger too, because at the end of the day, it's easy to say, well, other people are doing that. They're really great at it. I'll let them do it. Maybe I'm supposed to be doing something else. But if you have a personal mission of knowing that you're supposed to persevere through hard things and you're meant to do challenging things and it's for somebody else and for a bigger reason that is going to impact other people in a positive way, if you continue forward, is huge. And you don't have to be perfect at it. Here's the other piece. The hook is that the more you struggle and the more you go through in the process, the more you're going to be able to help somebody else get to where they want to go and fulfill and live out that dream that they have on their heart. Because the person who's been through it and knows that feeling of fear of, is this going to work out? Can I actually do this? And has gone through all of those over and over, the self-doubt, that's the person that can help somebody else that's feeling that exact same way.